Thanks to Miranda for that story. Well, Dr. Caitlynn Iddings is joining us this morning, as she does every Thursday, to talk about health in children. So again, it is sudden unexplained death in childhood, or SUDC. Dr. Iddings, great to see you as always this morning. So let's talk about this, because I mean, truly, it's something so hard for anyone to wrap around, the unexplained part, even after autopsy.
Even after autopsy.
Okay, so tell us a little more about this.
It is relatively rare, and I think the bigger issue is that it's just not well known. You know, everyone knows about SIDS. We have all this research going into SIDS and how to prevent it, and then you hear about, you know, death in kids 1 through 18, and you're like, and there was no explanation. Like, how do we not know more about this? And it is, I mean, one of the leading causes of death in children 1 through 4.
Yeah.
I mean, it's top 5 when you're talking about, you know, out of all the causes of death for that age range, it's in the top 5. So it's something that we do need to know about. It's something, of course, like Brittany was saying, we don't want to scare people, but if you're one of those people, heaven forbid, that your child were to pass and they were like, we don't have an explanation, or sometimes they'll say like, well, we found this on autopsy, but it doesn't really explain how it happened. We need to let these families know that there are resources. There's this Son Unexplained Childhood Death Foundation, and there's other genetic tests that they can do. So that's kind of an important thing for families to know, that even though the autopsy is done, asking them to save tissue so that we can send that off. There's different foundations. A big research foundation in Boston, Boston Children's, called the Roberts Foundation, that really is focusing on trying to better stratify, like, what is it that causes it. And a lot of times, now that this has become more of a awareness campaign, you know, 20% of those cases, they have been able to find a reason in the genes for it. So it is, like I said, just a very underfunded, researched area in pediatrics, but it's something that, you know, it's so brave for Brittany to come on there and talk about Sweet Sully, because it is very raw and still very, you know, new for that family, and for her to want to raise awareness is really important. And it is Sudden Unexplained Childhood Death Month as well. The month of March is.
Yes. And so, you know, our hearts go out to their family, because it was just a few months ago that Precious Sully passed away, and so they're still dealing with it, the loss. But yeah, like you said, I mean, the bravery and the courage and just the kindness for her and their family to be able to speak out and share awareness, because, awareness that this could happen. You know, you don't want to use the word prevention, because, I mean, how...
Right, it's not, at this point, preventable, but is there something that we could be doing and learning more about? Just like with SIDS, you know, we learn back to sleep. If you put babies on their back, they're less likely to get into that deep sleep where they might pass away because they stop breathing. You know, is there other things that we can be learning that might prevent this tragedy for other families in the future? It's really important for those families also to kind of get closure on, you know, if they have other children, is there something they need to be looking out with their other children for? And so, like I said, it is more common in ages 1 to 4. About 60% of cases happen in that age range. But there's also this weird bimodal peak where it's actually 25% happens in teenagers.
I know, when you think child, you think that younger age group, but that's what's startling too, that it says between 1 and 18 years of age, and you're seeing, in teenagers, and that's, I mean, it's just unimaginable. But like you said, the important thing too about this awareness is resources for families that unfortunately do have to face this tragedy. There is support out there. There are resources that can help you understand this. But so Sudden Unexplained Death in Children Month, raising awareness about this, and thank you to that precious family in Georgetown. Our hearts go out to them for Sully's loss. Dr. Caitlynn, thank you for joining us.